Oh, you know, I didn't figure out what the episode number was. That's pretty irresponsible of me.
4.
Friends. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
That far already. Welcome to Dawn Agreement, a D&D5E actual play, the book of Zintrana, Chapter 4. That
Damn
means
battle.
That's true. It is a damn battle. That's only because that's the name of the map that we're on.
We're battling on a dam.
You are battling on a dam. So the infinite region of blackness to your right is, you know, there's water down there, but it's like 1,000-foot drop. So
yeah.
Should you fall off of it, you will die.
Yep.
To the left is the high water. This drop is only about 100 feet. Should you fall into it, you'll still die, but there is a chance you could roll a 20 on a death saving throw because you might not die of massive damage. You find yourself, Zintrana, in a complicated position. Just let me question. This is my understanding. You are equipmentless in a sacrificial robe. Farless is leading you out of a building attached to the side of the dam. And you have alerted 2 of the Aegis guardsmen, Aegeus guardsmen, who are now going, "Hey, stop them!" All right.
That sounds about right. Can I ask you a question I mean to ask about this, by the way, because I've just been watching all the shows, and there's certainly parts of the overall plot that I can piece together from seeing all the shows that my character can't piece together from just their experience. But I want to ask you, by the way, because obviously Jubilex features in a lot of what's going on.
Yeah.
Is Jubilex in this world the same as the standard D&D Jubilex, i.e., like the formless Lord of Oozes, Slimes, etc., or no?
I didn't think it was name generator.
Okay, no worries, because Jubilex is a D&D deity.
Jubilex strongly associated with goats in this world.
Okay, no worries. He does appear to be a very Hersign god in this world.
Not formless, very formed.
All right, sorry, initiative. Yes.
Yeah, initiative. Yeah, we got combat carousel. We've got some guardsmen, and we've got Farless. Let's take a look here. Who is this? All right, it's guards, and Zintrana. Oh, wait, which one is Farless? Farless is the last one. Wait, did it not update his name? It didn't.
It did update his name because if you update the token, but you've got to double click on the token and change the name in the sheet to update his name. Yeah, I did
change the name in the sheet.
Okay, it's weird.
Token yeah, it says token Farless. Let's see here. Let's see if that will work. Yes, his name is now Farless.
Okay.
All right, I'm just going to do the 2 guards together because they're doing the same thing. They charge forward. Now, you are technically... This is not clearly well described. This area of lighter colored stone is the sacrificial building that you are being held in. You are still technically inside there. These guys are charging Farless to keep him from leaving.
Okay.
So let's see here. Where is their weapons skills? Am I just bad at this now?
It'd be under the inventory.
Yeah, I had to. The problem was I had 2 of them selected at the same time.
Okay, no worries.
All right, that's a miss. All right, Farless gets stabbed. All right, both of them charge forward. As they move forward, you notice that around their feet, their standard guardsman outfit, their boots seem to be emitting a purple flame behind them, and they leave fiery purple footsteps with smoke coming out of them as they charge toward Farless, who is, I wouldn't say he's caught off guard, but they definitely got, you know, first attack on him. Let's see here. Zin, it is up to you.
Okay. So if I'm still in the building, and I'm assuming the door is between myself and... Yeah. Can I move to there without... Yes. Okay, provoking an attack opportunity. Okay.
Yep.
So I'll move to there, probably go 1 more step over. Actually, no, I want to go to the edge. I'll stay around. So first off, any impression of how badly hurt Phylas is from that stab?
Yeah, I mean, look, the stab, like, hit him in the arm along his like arm guard, and it damaged the arm guard, and he pulls back and he's like, he probably could not get stabbed like that too many more times, but he's not going to fall over right now. There's not even any blood yet.
Okay. So then,
like most humans, his weakness is loss of blood.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I think that most people die from cardiac arrest, for example. So
I'm trying not to, man. I'm doing my best.
So I'll cast Spiritual Weapon into this space here as a bonus action.
Sure.
And in the same action, it will attack the guard between Phylas and itself.
What is your spiritual weapon?
It's a mace.
Perfect.
So I'm going to quickly spiritual weapon. Where are you? Thankfully, it doesn't require any semantic components, so I can cast it without needing to have any my pouch.
Well, if we wanted to discuss it further, it could have semantic components.
It does have both verbal and semantic components, but no material components.
No, it. That was a language joke, and I regret it now. All right.
Okay, so
you actually would have rolled at advantage because you're flanking. Sorry, your weapon is flanking with Phylas.
I thought that's not a thing in 5th ed.
It is a optional rule which I have been using. You're correct. Nice. It is optional. I'm using several optional rules, including massive damage. Yeah, go ahead. All right.
8 damage.
So this mace hits the guard from behind, and the guard goes, ah! Ah! He turns around and is, ah! He's like back and forth.
As my actual action now, I'm going to cast Sacred Flame on him as well.
All right. That's a cantrip.
Yeah, it's a cantrip, and it's a 1-action cantrip, so I can cast it as well as Spiritual Weapon in the same turn.
Yep.
So he needs to make a Dexterity 13, a Dex DC 13 save.
DC 13. Dexterity save.
So what you can do is, with him selected, you can just roll on the it's a saving throw DC 13 in the chat as well. But that's fine.
Of course, that makes perfect sense. However, he passed.
Yeah. No worries, that's fine. No damage from that then. And that is my turn done.
He whips his head around as your flame descends down on him. And he hops backwards, slamming right into the mace. And the mace is like grinding against his armor. He's doing that thing little birds do where they're like hop, hop, hop. Because they can't see in every direction and they can't turn their heads well. Perfect. All right, it's now the turn of Mr. Phylas. All right, so Phylas is like, sorry, I got to prep my Phylas voice. My lady, stay behind me. I'll deal with these ruffians. Ha!
I wish you had to hear your vocal exercises there. you had to mute to warm up for it. Doing the whole red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather.
I don't know if you watch Critical Role, but they had an episode where everybody did their vocal exercises, and it was insane. All right, so Phylas goes to attack, and it's a lot of spear on spear action. Like, they've got 2 spears, he's got 1 spear. I would say it's very, I wouldn't say wuxia, but like modern Chinese. What was that movie about the dude who was like the strongest boxer in the entire world in China and like beat the shit out of the English champion?
Oh, do you mean Hero? With Jet Li,
yeah. So it's a bit more Jet Li and a bit less, like Lu Bu spear work between the 3 of them. But they were all trained in the same army. He's an Aegean soldier as well. So are they. So their fight is probably like it's almost like kata coordinated, right? Like, he does the perfect counter to their thrust, and they have the perfect turn away to that.
Perfectly matched.
Yeah.
This battle will go on forever.
Well, there's 2 of them, so at some point he's just going to get stabbed to death. they're almost exactly as strong as he is, so they will defeat him easily. Okay, guard 1 goes to stab him, and then is going to try to make a careful move past him. Oh, he does. And then just kind of moves like this. So this is a bit more like he stabs forward, Farless like arm traps him, and the guy uses the momentum to leap out over the dam while Farless is arm trapping his spear, and uses it to turn Farless around and basically lands right next to you. He's just like, don't worry. And no, that's Farless, sorry. These guards are just, this guardsman is like, don't worry, soon you won't feel any pain anymore. The other one goes, I'm next in line. All right, so this guy's going to get advantage to stab Farless. Attack, advantage. How bad do you have to be to roll? You rolled 2 4s. That's a 1 in 400 chance. Incredible. All right, so Farless is falling for none of this bullshit, right? Like, the dude behind him has advantage. He's got every opportunity to stab Farless in the back. It doesn't happen. Farless is just like, don't worry, my lady. I'll take care of these two. You have to run. Okay.
So have they both acted now?
They have both acted.
Okay, so I will move to here.
All right.
As a bonus action, I'll move the spiritual weapon to here.
Yeah.
And I will then have it attack him.
Of course.
Yeah. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to. What I have to do with spiritual weapon, it's one of the vagarities of Foundries. I've got to effectively cast it there each time, but it's without using the spell slot in order to make it appear. Okay, so targeting him.
Just gonna draw like a mace. Let's do like an asterisk on the end.
So that is a hit.
I'll go ahead and roll some damage then.
I would love to. Oh,
all right.
11.
What do you want to do to this guy in the process? He's done. He's real done.
I think for cinematic purposes, the mace has got to whack him from like this side and like send him spiraling off the side of the dam. No, hey, Wilhelm scream, please.
I didn't practice my Wilhelm screams for today, but
yeah.
You can't accept the slowly falling one rather than just like the stormtrooper scream. I mean, I'm out here providing a quality scream instead of just memes. All right. What else you got?
I will then also. Can I see this guy around the corner of the building to Sacred Flame him?
It is tough. I'm gonna give him half cover for +2 AC.
Okay.
It's also +2 to saves.
Well, but yeah, it's +2. So you need +2 to save.
Yeah. Let me see. I can set this guy to be dead, right?
You can right click on him and select the dead condition, or just hide him.
I did hide him, but I need to take him out of the.
Yeah, that's the one annoying thing we found when it comes to putting groups, like doing group initiative, when you kill off the guy who used initiative roll and suddenly he comes out of the initiative order. And,
yep, that's why I didn't roll group initiative. That's why I did everybody individually. All right, he's dead. Do saving throw, situational bonus of 2.
He's good. Didn't even need it.
He sees the flame descending from above his head, and he flattens his back up against the side of the building. Farless is just like, that was pretty good, Lady Zintrana, but let me show you this. All right, Farless. He feels very confident now. You know, they had a 2-to-1 advantage. Now it's a 1-to-1 advantage. Never mind. He's doing great. He's doing great. All right. He doesn't kill him, but it's bad. Like, he's like, let me show you this. And then he, like, hits the guy dead center impact, and it slides across his heart. And you could see that there's a tear in the guy's leather armor. Blood is leaking out. You know how it is with like a chest wound. You know, the blood vessels there are very thin. They bleed kind of easily. Not as badly as like a face wound. So it's not like he nicked his heart, right? But he did just tear open a nice chunk of flesh. His armor is basically worthless over his heart, and he's bleeding badly. Farless is like, yeah, that's right. You want some more of this? You and your weird magic freaks. All right, this guy's going to respond by stabbing Farless. How dare you tell me I got to roll damage first? Who are you to tell me that? Armor class is pretty good. That's not going to hit. All right.
What happened to Dice So Nice, by the way?
So there was an issue. I guess it was conflicting with other mods. It would prevent rolls from players to the game master from updating. You had to switch maps in order to force an update.
Oh, weird. Okay, all right.
I'm sorry, James. You won't get your wah 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 wah.
Yeah, on my when you get it does the Windows sound when you get a 20. All right, over to me then. So I will first off bonus action move the spiritual weapon to this space here. I'm assuming it can float above the water. It hasn't got feet, so and then it will try and attack him again. Attack that guy.
I like how you're concerned about whether it has feet or not just like a body or substance at all. It gets advantage on this roll.
I didn't roll advantage. Do you want to roll another D20? Yeah, that's right. That's fine. Just do a roll D20.
D20 plus 5.
Ooh. Okay, and then I will also. Good. Sorry.
I said the first roll was good. Compared to a natural 1. No, it doesn't hit, but it's better than that.
Then I will move to there, and I actually can I see him better from there? Is that all right?
Yeah.
I'll go to there. That's fine. I'll take the chance. I'll take a chance on me, and I will sacred flame him. So give me a dex save.
Really big on the sacred flame. Oh, you must have.
Well, it's a cantrip.
It's true. All right.
Okay. Well, pretty sure that.
Get him.
5 damage.
All right. He falls backwards into this area. At least the flames go out, right? But now his unconscious body is kind of floating in the water, trying to think. He's like on his side.
Is the sluice open? Because he could be about to experience.
Yeah, he's going to get sucked down eventually.
A Delta P issue. Yeah.
A Delta P issue? You want to talk about pressure loss?
No, well, I mean, you get Delta P issues in dams near the sluice because obviously the suction exceeds your buoyancy.
Yeah, he's going to get sucked down into it, yes. The only question is whether he'll be dead before or after that happens. I don't think anybody's jumping down here to save him.
No. So if there's no other combatants around and we're out of initiative, then I will cure Farless's current wound.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. What's your passive perception?
My passive perception is not fantastic because I'm not trained. I'm not proficient in it. So it is 13.
Why would you think that was bad? Oh my God, that's better than most people. All right, so right here, located outside of the building, on the side that doesn't have the door, is your equipment bundled up in a white cloth. And then it's got like 2 belt buckles wrapped around it. All right, you fully heal Farless. All right, so Farless is just like, well, nothing else around here. We should get out of here as quickly as possible.
Let me just get my things.
Oh, that's right. Your things are right there. That's crazy that I didn't see them while coming in. They're literally the only thing out here. How could I have missed that? My passive perception must be incredibly low.
What's the time to don medium armor?
It's like 5 minutes.
Okay.
All right, so what happens is Farless is just like, you should go inside the room and put your equipment on. I'll guard the door.
Okay, I will duck in there then.
All right. So the whole time Farless is outside, he's got like ambient guardsman dialogue. He's just like, what was that? I think I saw something. Can't wait to get back to the town to try the new biscuits. Huh? Must have been the wind.
I'll emerge after 5 minutes.
It's interesting you say emerge, because at the same time, from out of the water, 3 figures emerge. Well, that looks very dramatic, but they arrived in the wrong places.
So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Let me move them over here, and then we'll do like an emergence scene, all right, so that the audience can get it too. They arrive like this. Nope, it's still not right. All right. Oh my goodness, trying to just select one of them is a thing. All right, so on either side of you and farthest from out of the water, figures appear out of the water being lifted on like water columns. And then this guy, who is different than the other two, he very clearly has a tome at his belt on an iron chain and like a sacrificial dagger. I'm talking something like a small version of a crease, you know, like the knives that are basically just like waves.
Yes.
He arrives out of a puff of like purple smoke. The other two appear to be wielding like various weaponry all along their belts, kind of like you would expect out of somebody who tortures someone, or like a butcher who also has a mace in his collection. They're all wearing various types of robes, and the two that have arrived out of the water have holy symbols of Jubilix.
Okay.
So we're not fighting quite yet.
Yep.
This guy goes, Lady Zintrana, I would invite you to return to the hospitality chamber that we've prepared. How could you leave before we used you as the guest of honor in the upcoming festival?
What festival is that?
So Farless he's got a spear. He's like pointing it at everybody. It's just rotating around, making sure they all know he's present. The figure with the spell book says, why, the festival by which we will harvest your magical power and transport it. The gifts that people like you have should be shared with everyone, don't you think? The needy, those who could use it more efficiently. The festival is one of communion and community. We're just here to make sure that everyone can experience the blessings of the gods.
I mean, so I'm going to ask a question before you ask them. This is a setting-based question. The ability to use magic, is it considered to be an innate thing, or can anybody who's trained learn magic?
No, I mean, the base part of wizardry is that with enough time, you could learn to cast magic, but, you know, it takes humans decades to do something like that. Base magic is, I mean, you know, probably like 12% of the population can use magic, just even in the forms of a cantrip or a single first level spell. It's rare, but it's not uncommon.
I think you're going about this the wrong way. I'd happily show people my faith and how to use that faith to wield divine magic.
Divine magic? What foolishness. We're going to harvest the magic from your very bones so that anyone can use it. Sure, something will be lost in the process, but that's what happens. Well, anyway, you don't seem like you're going to quietly go back into the room, do you?
So before something happens here, can I use a bonus action
pocket save
to basically trigger combat? Like waiting to try. I mean, obviously combat's becoming inevitable.
Yes.
But I want to throw out a bonus action if I can.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just going to Shield of Faith Thalas.
Ooh. What does your shield look like?
It's probably just like a flaming globe. So, because I mean, Shield of Faith used to actually physically be a shield, but now it's just an effect because it still stacks with a regular shield as well.
Yes.
So I'd say it's like a warm glow of the flame or of sunlight around the person. Probably with arcane symbols woven into it as well, or divine symbols woven into it.
Okay.
So he's got +2 AC.
Works for me. You're up first in the initiative order.
Oh, did it roll for me? Did it? Okay, cool.
We're using the same initiative.
Okay, cool. No worries.
It's all technically one fight.
All right then. So as a bonus action, I will summon a new spiritual weapon into this space here.
Yeah.
And
guy rolled dog shit in his initiative.
It's my last second level spell. Actually, I didn't cast Shield of Faith, by the way, because it would have been pointless to do so, given that I would have had to maintain that. I couldn't have cast Spiritual Weapon as well then. So Spiritual Weapon is more handy for me than Shield of Faith, so I'm going to leave it.
Okay.
It's just, okay, that hits anyway.
Yes, it does. I shall roll damage. Oh, you roll damage.
Yep.
Okay.
And then for my action, I will also Sacred Flame him.
That's not so good for me.
My combat style is pretty formulaic, you may have picked up.
Yeah, it's okay.
Make a save.
I don't know if that saving throw is actually
does not. No, 13. Oh, okay.
No, go ahead. All right, so this guy, this big, bad, magical wizard who I prepared for this fight, just sets on fire and falls 1,000 feet. I'll get you! How long does it take to fall 1,000 feet? It's tough because you accelerate on your way down, right? So you.
Yeah. Do Americans speak of acceleration in feet per second? Is that right?
Yeah, we do 32 feet per second.
Okay.
Second for acceleration, right?
Yeah, I know it's 9.8 meters per second. So.
I mean, we could sit down here and do the math for how long a 1,000-foot drop would take, but instead,
surely there's a Google calculator for that.
Yeah, I'm sure the audience can let us know in the comments section.
But we need to work out though how he's falling though to work out the wind resistance.
No, I mean, look, this is an engineering problem. Wind resistance is negligible for a falling wizard.
What if he's got voluminous robes?
His robes are voluminous. That's true. This is too much for me. It's too much.
Okay, it's no chicken math.
I didn't do the chicken math either. Some other guy did that. All right, the cultist attacks and misses Farless. So the cultist reaches for the scimitar at his belt, and he licks the blade of it before going to engage Farless. And the whole time, Farless is easily driving him off with the spear. You know, like it's just a simple matter of reach. The dude with the scimitar has to get really close to hit, and Farless is just bonking him on the head.
Did you watch any of the new series of Monkey when they remade Monkey recently?
I don't know what Monkey is, so let's say.
Oh, no. Well, okay. It was a Chinese kids show that was translated into English in the 80s, but they redid it recently. It's like the story of Journey to the West, but
okay. So you're talking about not Sun Tzu, the monkey and his companions.
Yeah, Tripitaka, the priest Tripitaka. Yeah. But anyway, there is a scene in the new one where like an assassin drops down, pulls out his scimitar, licks the blade, and goes, "Oh, I forgot this was poison," and then drops dead. Yes,
exactly. There was a D&D skit about that recently as well. But it is intimidating, though, right, to see someone lick the blade. It's very edgelordy. In response to this guy attempting to approach Farless with a scimitar, he gets the butt end of the spear twice in the chest and then once across the nose, like, like straight jabs and then like a slap to the nose. His nose breaks and he takes 6 damage. All right, the other cultist will now attack Zintrana with his scimitar. Scimitar. 21 sounds pretty good.
That does hit me, yes.
For 6 damage.
All right.
This guy isn't. He's got no lick it and then attack chops in him. No showmanship. He simply draws the blade like, I wouldn't even call it a hip draw. It's like a belt draw, and uses that to complete like a full circular motion, turning his back to you and then completing the slash turning it into a jab at the last second, like a weird fencing stop motion.
Yep.
And it hits your armor, deflects off, but you feel your shoulder go, ugh. You know, you'll be feeling that in about 10 years. One day you'll just wake up and you'll be like, huh, what is that? What is that I'm feeling? How do I get this guy
back to me?
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out how to get this guy at the menu. There we go. I'm expelling him from the battlefield. I'm exiling this card. Okay.
So bonus action, I'll move the spiritual weapon to here.
All right.
And it will attack.
It will get advantage.
That's why I did it there.
Yeah, but I don't want it to have advantage.
It hits.
All right, I don't want it to deal very much damage either. All right. So this guy's facing down with Farless, right? He's like, no magic in you, huh? I guess you're gonna. And then we just see his head get smashed like a watermelon from behind us. He has no idea the spiritual weapon's behind him, and he collapses on the ground.
Okay, and then guess what I'm doing next. Have a guess.
Yeah. It's Sacred Flame, right?
Yeah, no worries. Yeah.
I mean, look, if it works. All right.
That passed. Yeah.
Takes a little hop backwards as the flame burns at his feet.
But it was close.
If you say so. There we go. So Farless is going to move behind this guy and say, I serve with honor. You people are ruffians. I'm taking you in. Yeah! Alright. Farless, inventory, spear, attack, advantage roll. Wow, Farless. That's well, the other roll was a 1, so he tries not to act too embarrassed. This guy's gonna scimitar you. That's a 20 to hit.
Yeah.
That's 2 points of damage.
Okay. Oops.
That brings it back to you.
Okay. All right. So I will. I'm going to move. Oh, still got target mode active. I'm going to move around to here as a move action. I'm going to move the spiritual weapon to there, and it will attack. Oh, you know what? I've been doing Constitution saves for spiritual weapon. Let me do that for that last action then, because that might.
Oh yes, yeah. Because
So the spiritual weapon's actually ended. So staying there then. I will. Well, first off, I will. Do I want a Sacred Flame or do I want to try and hit him? I'll try and hit him with my mace. But as a bonus action, I will Shield of Faith myself first. All right, so I'm Shield of Faith, and then I will mace with advantage. No, that's a miss.
All right. Farless is just like, my lady, don't put yourself in too much danger. I can handle scum like this. All right, Farless, I just need you to not. Okay, 12. 12 is good enough. Okay. It's a pretty good hit. So this guy is like surrounded. He's bleeding. He's dying. And he says, I'm the only one left. And I'm the only one that can stop the two of you. Dark Lord, I call upon your power. And then he starts. It's tough to describe it. It's like there's two of him and he's shaking so quickly. There's like one of him a half inch to either side. Like you can see his face, and then there's a second face right here.
Yep, I've watched the Flash on whatever that channel is. I see it looks like when they're all sort of blurry.
Yes, it's like that. It has the same base thing because his atoms are shaking at the lowest level. Farless is just like, what witchcraft is this? All right, Zintrana.
All right, I think I will just try hitting him as he is.
Okay.
So does that affect? Is that just extra armor class, or is it is it by disadvantage?
Actually, his armor class is 8 now.
Okay.
He is a negative.
Okay, so just attack normally, and you'll tell me what changes. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Assuredly so. You get advantage, of course.
Okay, that's a critical hit.
Sure. Great. He explodes when he dies. I need you and Farless to both make dexterity saving throws.
My critical hit was 3 damage, by the way.
That's okay.
Dexterity saving throws.
He's already on the way out the door.
Yeah.
All right.
17.
Okay. You take 3.
Okay.
What comes out of this guy exploding? Like, your mace connects with one of the two of him, and it actually just kind of passes through him, and then it like pauses inside of him for a moment, and the guy's face looks pained for just a brief instant before purple flame explodes in every direction. You manage to duck and dive. Farless it's not great for him. Oh, that's Farless. I don't want to remove him. I do want to end this encounter, however. There we go. My lady, I don't know what's going on here. This is some devil witchcraft all around us. I've seen several of these men. They've never been practitioners before. I heard what they were saying earlier. I think they're kidnapping magic users and stealing their power.
That is what they said. We should get out. Are there more people here, or can we get out of here?
Just dozens of people here. This is one of the premier dams that provides water to the town, to the city. I mean, there are plenty of guards here. Normally, I think I'd be able to get out of it. I got in here because I'm an Agesian guard, but I mean, they clearly want you.
Can we sneak
How do you
out
feel about wearing a guard uniform and sneaking out?
That's fine if we can. I mean, are there more guard uniforms about? Because the guards that were here both got thrown off the edge of the dam.
Yeah, that's true. All right, look, there's a guardhouse on the southern edge of the dam here. You can see that the north end of the dam ends at like a mountain wall, but the bottom end ends at like a guardhouse. We'll go in there. We'll see if we can find any spare uniforms and maybe like a hat or something. You have very distinctive ears.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
All right. You carry out this deception to hide you as a guardsman. Can you make a stealth check real quick?
Yes, I can. 5.
Looks pretty good to me.
Is his passive perception lower than 5?
No. No, but I assumed he helped you with it. You know what I mean? Like, you both come to the conclusion that this was pretty good.
Okay.
As you're in the guardhouse, you notice that there's chairs, there's a log book and an observation book. One is for like who was where when, and the other is like, hey, I'm bored on my work. Let's write things down. With a little bit of looking, with your high passive perception, you discover that the guardhouse has a false wall at one point, and behind it is a small shrine to Jubilix.
Okay. And these guards have the same red cloaks that the guards in town have?
Yes, it's the cloak clasps that are different. The clasps have the sign. They have the same that Castle Hesper and the Field Hospital have, because they all swore themselves to the Agesian Abyss Aegeus.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, in any case, that they could match the torn cloth we saw at the
yes
at the inn.
So the staircase down is over 1,000 feet, but it is clearly finely dwarven wrought. So every 10 steps in a circular path, there is a small landing built into the mountain with like a chair and like a bowl of water with something like a Roman-style faucet to allow water pressure to pour in. And as you're going down, Farless is like, oh, it's a good thing they built these landings. I mean, I had to high march it up here to get you. it's 1,000 feet of staircases. It took me a while. I had to take a couple breaks.
I'm getting exhausted just going down these things.
Yeah, I mean, my stress level was so high, I couldn't find you. Everyone around me appeared to have been in a massive conspiracy. It seems like the man I respected and admire most, I mean, originally I was part of another army, but, you know, this was supposed to be my sweet retirement gig. You know, I'm a bodyguard, not like a, you know, torture murder soldier or something like that, you know. I don't know what's going out here, my lady. I have to tell you, I don't think the whole army's in on this, but I never would have thought this was possible to begin with. Excuse me, I gotta take a drink.
Well, I mean, clearly everybody here at the dam is involved, but we can't assume that this is where it ends. But who do we get involved with? Who do we trust?
Well, I have to tell you, I'm pretty sure we can't trust Lieutenant Abyssagius. In fact, I think we need to go arrest him. I don't know who we can trust. I mean, he's practically a senator himself. He's on that path. He's a pretty strong, you know, noble man. Lots of money, lots of troops. Sure, he got assigned to Field Hospital Hesper, but I have to think, what if he did that on purpose so he could kill people and steal the magic?
So, if the two of us just attempt to arrest him, and any guards in his service will obviously try and defend him.
That's a good point. I would defend him if I didn't know.
I mean, do we look at involving Sergeant Rothfuss in this?
Cat Rothfuss, you mean the guardsman? Yeah, yes. I mean, seems unlikely he's involved in this, but then again, I don't know who to trust. I'll let you make the call, milady.
What did you mentioned about a senator before? What was that, sorry?
Oh, the man I served before. You probably haven't heard of him. You know, he's a logistics officer by the name of Rorvan Nursk.
I know. Have I heard about the other people in the... I'm assuming we at least know the names of the other people in the Dawn Agreement.
Have you ever used #Dawn Agreement chat on Discord to talk to any of the other players?
No.
I know the answer to that question, James. Can you imagine if you and Pondo had sat down and said, hey, I was kidnapped by these guys who are from House Aegeus. And Pondo went, wow, that's weird because I also know someone from House Aegeus. And there have been mysterious disappearances near me.
Well, I'm actually thinking about contacting, because I mean, I didn't have the coin until now,
sure.
After being kidnapped. But it feels big enough to actually so we can only use the coin once per day. That's right, isn't it?
Yep.
So I couldn't send a message to the Dawn Agreement in general, and then also contact other players or seek.
You could contact the Dawn Agreement, and they would pass your message along.
Okay, no worries. All right, so I will then, once we're somewhere safe, or at least not going to be observed, I will pull out the coin and rub it or do whatever's required to try and reach someone from the Dawn Agreement.
Drop it on the floor, and like sand comes out in the image of the person on the other end. So it's an elven man seated at a desk who pushes up his glasses and says, hello, I'm the day scribe here today. Name is Jefferson. Can I help you?
Hello, this is Zintrana. I'm operating in Stonewall. Is that the city, sorry?
I don't have any cities named Stonewall here.
No. So I'm asking you, what's the name of the city? Was it Stonewall?
It's Silvermarsh.
Silvermarsh.
Oh, no, sorry, that's Rorvan City. My bad. You are Stonewall is the name of a general. The city here, Stormwall.
Stormwall. Okay, no worries.
Yeah, Stormwall.
Okay. I'm understanding. Okay. Right. I'm operating here in Stormwall, investigating the. Well, not investigating. I was sent here to render medical aid. There's a conspiracy. It appears to go up to one of the generals. Sorry, it's general. Is Bisigeus is general or
lieutenant?
He's lieutenant. Lieutenant. To one of the lieutenants, they are capturing practitioners and siphoning their magic off. There's only one of the guards is on my side right now. If there's any agents that can help, it's a bit above my level of expertise to deal with.
Okay, well, I've got that all written down right here. That sounds fairly alarming. Since head office and myself are located in Stormwall, this is, I would call this a high priority task. And if you could, I'm just going to go out here on my limited authority and say, if you could just make it back to headquarters as soon as possible, I'm sure we could sit down for like a briefing.
Okay, we're on our way. We're near the dam north of town.
So he's like sipping tea while this is happening. He goes, "Oh, the dam. So we'll see you in a couple days then. All right."
Yep.
Okay. Well, we'll put everybody on high alert and do what we can from here. All right. Well, have a nice day, and good luck, Zintrana.
Right. I'll pick up the coin.
All right. So this is just like, wow.
Maybe we'll have help.
What an incredible conversation. That guy reminds me of several people that I've known while working for Rover Nursk, including Rover Nursk. All right, well, all we have to do now is escape using our extreme cleverness. And as soon as you go around the corner, you run into a woman who's like, "Huh, it's the prisoner. She's escaped. Okay, look. I'm not with the rest of them, all right? Okay? I'm good.
So, who are you?
Name's Chussia, okay? Don't hurt me.
I'm not going to hurt you.
Everybody else here is like weird lately, all right? Over the last few days, they've been like worshiping things and then like saying phrases. I don't know. People have been disappearing.
Look, we're heading back to Stormwall. Did you want to come with us? We can keep you safe.
Okay, let me just go get my equipment real quick.
Can I? My passive insight doesn't tell me anything about this. Is not
no. Passive insight. Give me a break. Make an insight check.
Okay. No worries.
Well, I make a deception check. Oh my God! Maybe I don't even need to bother. You believe it. You believe it with all of your heart. A natural 1 versus a 23.
Yeah.
Which is why you're very surprised when she literally stabs you in the back.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see here. Yeah, that'll.
It hits. Yeah.
All right. So Farless is just accepting her as well. The two of you turn to leave the dam facility, and then suddenly there's a crunching noise as you just slams into the small of your back. This spike mace. You're like, oh!
That drops me to 0 exactly.
Oh no! All right, go ahead and roll a d20. Let's see if you can hit a 20 right here. Pop back up instantly.
Oh, it's okay. Wait, I need to make it. When we roll death saving time below 0. Try that now. Got 2 fails.
Okay. All right. Listen, there's things are happening, but you're too unconscious to know. Make another death saving throw. Yeah. Oh boy. Oh my God! Is Zintrana just? Oh my God! All right. So here's what has happened.
Yep.
You are on the floor behind Farless. It seems like he has grabbed your arm and then like spun you and thrown you into a corner, so at least you won't be in stabbing range. So when you get up, you're like, ugh, oh, my whole body hurts. Oh, why is there dust in my mouth? Oh, Farless is dying. So this woman is basically just savaging Farless to death over and over. He's turtling down with his armor and his cloak and his spear, and she's just beating the shit out of him. And I think that's where we're going to stop this episode. But great news. You may only have 1 hit point, but you get to level up.
Okay, no worries.
You can roll for how many new hit points you have, but you stay at 1.
Yeah.
Your spell slots will also not reset. Any new spells
right.
you gain, you'll get those slots.
Yeah, no worries. Because I still got 1. I was saving, because both Father and I ended off the last encounter injured. I was saving a Cure Wounds to work out who to use. I only had 1 Cure Wounds left. So that's why I haven't cured anybody yet. But under the current circumstances, I think I'll be curing Fatherless first and foremost.
Well, if you're lucky, maybe we can get somebody like Pondo or Henley in this time slot in 2 weeks to help you.
Yeah.
Oh, man. The betrayal of the Aegeus family. The worship of Jubilix. These are the true plots spreading across the world. And then Henley's off doing his own thing.
There's definitely a druid circle involved, for sure.
You think so? You've been watching...
I've been watching all the shows. That's it, yeah. But the goat is definitely tied to... the goat, or at least the dire goat seems awakened. And so the combination of the awakened plus the fog cloud, plus there's been references to druids already. So,
no comment.
Yeah, I'm still trying to tie in because obviously Baleful Polymorph isn't the spell in 5th Ed, but like the effect that's happening to the people in House Esper. But once again, this all feels like a evil nature-based thing going on.
Not an unreasonable conclusion. I will tell you that Henley's storyline has nothing to do with the rest of you, so don't draw any conclusions from that.
Yeah, I mean, Henley also suspected druids at one point.
Yes. Well, Henley wanted to be evil, so I was like, all right, we're just going to do an evil storyline over here in a corner.
That's right, you have to save the world from good druids.
Oh, my God. Could you imagine, like, someone coming up to him and just being like, hey, would you like to wear a garland on your head? Here's some carrots. These are more... Their carbon footprint is really low, and they're great for you as well. He's just like, no, get away from me. I'm bad. I'm evil. All right, James. Well, I think you did pretty well there right up until you got betrayed.
Yeah. No, I mean, it felt obvious to me, but it clearly wasn't obvious to my character.
Yeah. That happens.
Yeah.
All I can say is that I'm excited to see what happens to Adrian and Rogue Trader.
Yeah. I've already been in contact with Spoon. We've already talked out. So we get there's going to be what we reveal on the day, but there'll be something left. There'll be something left in the air that Spoon knows about, but won't be revealed until much later. Le shock. Yeah.
Well, now he won't be able to say he's not tied to the storyline anymore. I could just sacrifice myself anytime. All right. That's it. You got any projects to announce?
I need to say that I am like this close to finishing my Space Wolves, so I will put up a video on the Rogue Trader chat later on this week because I had the video planning it, the video after I've built it. I'm going to do the video after it's fully painted, and then I'll also do an update video once I actually get a gameplay with them. So for anyone that's following my 40k type content, you can see my completed Crusade army later on this week. Otherwise, I'll be back for a truncated show of Rogue Trader on Saturday, thanks to being my daughter's birthday. But I said to my wife, no, I can't leave the audience hanging for too long. We've got to play, so it's just going to be a shorter game.
That makes me feel bad because I run the show called Oath of Venosteel. Sometimes it can be a whole month before we play.
Although, hey, I want to call it Oath of Venosteel because I watched. I haven't watched the Patreon episode this week. I watched last week's episode yesterday, like when it was on YouTube, and it is on the map. That was the first map I played in one of your games on. Like the first game I played
standing on top of my Hetzer. I know.
Exactly right, yeah. And you put a Hetzer in the same fucking spot too. It's like, they should have known. They should have realized.
What can I say, James? There are no original ideas when I come with me. I just steal even from myself. It's a good spot to put a Hetzer, though, right? If you're going to ambush people, get a 1 or 2 round rush to try to get in the rear area, it's not bad.
Yeah. And by the way, I was standing on SRM carrier. I didn't stand on that, so I stood on the SRM carrier.
Yeah. Oh, man. Remember when SRM carriers were scary?
Yeah, that's right. Right until I stepped on it.
And then no one respected them ever again until End of Steel.
Yeah.
All right, I feel called out then. I feel called out. If only the players of that game had watched every single episode of A Time of Total Warfare and remembered them perfectly. All right, I'm hitting stop recording now.
They can still do that.
They could now, but the surprise is gone.